Hey, church fam, Jonathan Chang here. Want to share some things that are on my heart with you all today. And for me personally, I've been going through the 7 last sayings of Jesus on the cross for my own reflection this week during Holy Week. And today is the third saying, and it is Jesus saying to his mom and to his best friend, the disciple John. He looks at them in John 19:26 and 27 and says to Mary, "Woman, here is your son." And then he looks at John saying, "Here is your mother." And what really strikes me is that Jesus has been nailed to the cross. He's suffering. He is literally suffocating to death. And what he is doing at that moment is showing everyone there that he is still thinking of others in the midst of his suffering. You see, Jesus, he cared for his mom's welfare. Being her oldest son, it was his duty to make sure that she was cared for because she was a widow at this point. And so he didn't want to just make sure that she was going to be cared for by anyone. He chose his best friend, John, to make sure that he would take care of his mom. And to me, it's incredible to think of that because Jesus, in his suffering, he wanted to continue to console those around him. We see him consoling again Mary and John here, Mary Magdalene who was there, and the other followers that followed Jesus to watch him die this terrible death. And even right before that, when he consoles the criminal, assuring him salvation, that he will be with him in paradise. You see, Jesus wasn't insensitive to the distress of others, of those who followed him, of those who loved him as well. He wanted to make sure and let them know that he cared for them. And it's all because of compassion. Compassion is such a word that I use all the time, and I think that should be one of the common words that we use as followers of Jesus. Jesus was compassionate all the time. We see his compassion as he healed the leper, as he healed the paralytic, as he healed the man with the withered hand, healing the blind, healing the woman with the blood issue, interacting with the woman at the well, finding Zacchaeus hiding in a tree. Jesus was compassionate. He always looked to find ways to demonstrate the love of God through him and his actions. And so it really, for today, as we prepare for Good Friday and Easter, the Resurrection Day, I think we should take our time to stop thinking of ourselves and to reflect on the love of Christ, the compassion of Christ, and act how he acted. By that meaning to be compassionate in our distress, because right now we're all in some form or shape of distress, right? It varies from person to person, but we are all under some form of distress. And so in that, I believe if we choose to think of others and those in distress, it allows us to focus more so on the glory of Jesus, to focus on our Christian walk. And so focusing on others' distress, the first thing I think we can do is check in with each other, right? Check in with your church family. How are you doing? Do you have needs that can be met? Do you have masks that you need? Do you need gloves? Do you need sanitizer? Thankfully, toilet paper and paper towels are popping up on shelves now, but do you need any of those necessities? Right? Because I think sometimes if we can think outside of ourselves and realize that there are others suffering and hurting around us, it allows us to demonstrate the love and compassion of Christ. You see, in the Bible in Romans, it says to rejoice with those who rejoice, weep with those who weep, mourn with those who mourn, right? If someone is saddened, then be sad with them. If someone is rejoicing, rejoice with them. You see, that is what a compassionate heart does. And Jesus demonstrates that as he is talking to his mother and best friend here as he is dying on the cross. And so, in the end, be compassionate. Think outside of ourselves right now and think of others who may be in stress and need love and compassion, and go and serve them as you can. I love you guys. Take care.